Could this mushroom help your pet with cancer? This mushroom that grows in the wild is known as the Coriolis versicolor mushroom. It's been approved and used as a pharmaceutical-grade medicine for the treatment of cancer in Japan for 30 years. It's found widely throughout the world and grows in the wild, often on logs. There are over 400 studies done in people specifically for using this mushroom on some of the different types of cancers. There are also several animal studies. One 2012 study centered around dogs that had hemangiosarcoma. That's cancer of the lining of the red blood cells, which typically affects the spleen. They found that dogs who had their spleen removed but were also given Coriolis versicolor mushroom lived twice as long as those who had their spleen removed but were not given this mushroom. The active ingredients found in this mushroom are PSP and PSK, or protein-bound polysaccharides, and that's what's giving it many of its medicinal qualities. This is often used in conjunction with chemotherapy. Specifically in people, it's being used for conditions like stomach cancer, colon cancer, lung cancer, osteoporosis, rheumatoid arthritis, and more. Exactly what are these mushrooms doing? They work by modulating the immune system, so it's stimulating things such as pro-inflammatory cytokines, interleukin, interferon, natural killer cells, and T-cell proliferation. Even though I hadn't heard about it until a few years ago, clinical research on this mushroom first started in 1970 in Japan. That's over 50 years ago. Is it safe? That would be a resounding yes. When I was looking at reported adverse effects, they were minimal. They reported that some people can have darker stool or a little diarrhea, but it's very uncommon. They're not seeing it interact with other medications, so even if your pet is on chemotherapy, for instance, they can also be on this Coriolis versicolor mushroom. What the mushroom is doing is making the immune system much more effective. So just think, with all of these different processes going on in the body, trying to fight these cancer cells which are trying to grow and spread, it's just making the immune system much more primed to be able to fight it. There are no drug interactions, no side effects, you cannot overdose on it, so there's a real positive upside. Now, no, it's not necessarily going to be the magic cure, like you're going to give your pet this and your pet is cured of cancer, but it can definitely help. And it may actually make a big difference for your pet. Maybe your pet's going to have a positive remission for a longer period of time. Maybe it's going to extend your pet's life or even just give them a better quality of life. But after a lot of research, we decided to get our pup Bear and our cat Jax on these mushrooms, and they're doing great. Now, some of the studies I was reading show people staying on Coriolis versicolor mushroom long term. They may have had something like colon cancer and have been able to have that surgically resected, but long term they stay on the Coriolis versicolor mushroom. So when you see people on a supplement for 10 years and they're cancer free for 10 years or more, it's probably a good thing to stand up and take notice and really seriously think about it as another alternative option to incorporate in treating your pet with cancer.